Welcome to U.S. Coin History World. Today we are exploring two classic and historic United States 1-cent coins, the 1878 Indian head cent and the 1894 Indian head cent. These beautiful bronze coins are part of one of the most loved coin series in American history, designed by James Barton Longacre. Both coins represent an important era when the United States was growing fast after the Civil War and expanding its economy and industry. Let's begin with the 1878 United States 1-cent coin. The 1878 United States 1-cent coin belongs to the famous Indian head cent series, a group of small copper coins that played an important role in everyday American commerce during the late 19th century. This coin was designed by James Barton Longacre, who served as the chief engraver of the United States Mint and was responsible for many well-known American coin designs of the era. The Indian head cent series began in 1859 and continued until 1909, making it one of the longest-running and most collected small cent designs in American numismatic history. The 1878 issue reflects a period when the United States was still recovering economically from the Panic of 1873 and undergoing significant industrial growth and westward expansion. Coins like the 1878 1-cent were widely used in daily transactions for small purchases such as food, transportation, newspapers, and general goods, which means most surviving examples show noticeable wear from circulation. The obverse of the 1878 Indian head cent features a left-facing portrait commonly described as Liberty, wearing a Native American feather headdress. Although the design is popularly called an Indian head, it is actually a representation of liberty, symbolizing freedom and national identity. The headdress bears the word liberty on the band, though on many circulated coins the lettering may be partially worn away due to heavy use. Around the rim are the words United States of America, emphasizing the national authority behind the coinage. The date, 1878, appears clearly at the bottom beneath the portrait. The reverse design displays a laurel wreath surrounding the denomination 1 cent, with a small shield at the top symbolizing strength and unity. The wreath design had evolved from an earlier oak wreath used in the early years of the series, reflecting aesthetic changes and engraving improvements introduced by the Mint. The 1878 1-cent coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time did not use a mint mark on its coinage, so genuine examples of this date do not carry any mint mark. The mintage for the 1878 Indian head cent was approximately 5,797,000 coins. While this number may seem large, many of these coins were heavily circulated, lost, or melted over time, making high-grade examples significantly more valuable today. Collectors often seek well-preserved coins with strong detail in the headdress feathers, clear lettering on the Liberty band, and sharp wreath details on the reverse. Coins with full original red copper color are especially prized because copper naturally darkens and tones over decades of handling and environmental exposure. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1878 Indian head cent is composed primarily of copper, following the composition introduced in 1864 consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures about 19 millimeters in diameter. It has a plain edge rather than a reeded one. The copper composition gives the coin a warm reddish-brown appearance when freshly minted, but over time most examples develop a brown or chocolate tone. Collectors classify color into three broad categories: red, brown, and brown, with red coins usually commanding the highest premiums due to their rarity in high preservation states. The historical context surrounding the 1878 Indian head cent is fascinating because it reflects a United States undergoing economic challenges and technological advancement. The country was transitioning into an industrial powerhouse, with railroads expanding across the continent and new industries emerging in cities. Small denomination coins were essential for everyday transactions in both rural and urban areas. The cent coin had already undergone several design and composition changes since its introduction in the late 18th century, evolving from large copper cents to smaller bronze versions that were easier to handle and produce. The Indian head cent represented a blend of artistic design and practical functionality, making it a staple of American currency for decades. From a collecting standpoint, the 1878 Indian head cent is considered a common to semi-common date within the series, meaning it is generally accessible to collectors but becomes significantly more expensive in higher grades. Lower grade circulated coins can often be obtained at relatively modest prices, making them popular entry points for beginner collectors. However, coins graded mint state with strong luster and minimal marks can command substantial premiums, particularly if they exhibit full red color. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on factors such as wear, surface preservation, strike quality, and eye appeal. The Sheldon grading scale, ranging from 1 to 70, is typically used to determine a coin's condition, with higher numbers representing better preservation. Errors and varieties are also of interest to numismatists studying the 1878 Indian head cent. While major varieties are less common for the specific date compared to some earlier issues, minor die variations and strike differences can exist. Collectors often examine coins carefully for double dies, repunch dates, or unusual planchet flaws that may add to the coin's uniqueness and value. Authenticity is another important concern, as counterfeit coins and altered dates sometimes appear in the market. Genuine coins should match the correct weight, diameter, and design characteristics, and serious collectors often rely on certified examples graded by reputable third-party grading services. Market value for the 1878 Indian head cent varies widely depending on condition, color, and demand. Worn examples with heavy circulation marks may sell for only a few dollars, while uncirculated coins with red surfaces and strong eye appeal can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Market trends also depend on broader economic conditions and collector interest in 19th century American coins. Because the Indian head cent series is highly popular, demand remains relatively stable, and well-preserved coins continue to attract attention from both experienced numismatists and new collectors building historical coin sets. Caring for an 1878 1-cent coin is important for maintaining its long-term value. Copper coins are particularly sensitive to environmental factors, such as humidity, temperature changes, and exposure to chemicals. Collectors typically store coins in acid-free holders, capsules, or albums designed specifically for coin preservation. Cleaning coins is generally discouraged because improper cleaning can damage the surface and significantly reduce value. Even gentle polishing can remove original luster and leave unnatural marks that experts can easily detect. Instead, coins should be handled by the edges with clean hands or cotton gloves and kept in a stable, dry environment. Now let's move to the 1894 United States 1-cent coin. The 1894 United States 1-cent coin is part of the well-known Indian head cent series, a design that circulated widely across America during the late 19th century and became one of the most recognizable small coins in United States history. Designed by Chief Engraver James Barton Longacre, the Indian head cent first appeared in 1859 and continued through 1909. Bridging the period between the earlier Flying Eagle cents and the later Lincoln cent series. By the time the 1894 issue was struck, the Indian head cent had already been a familiar part of daily life for more than 3 decades, used by millions of Americans in ordinary transactions ranging from local markets to urban businesses. The coin reflects an era of industrial expansion, increasing population growth, and the transformation of the United States into a more modern economic power. The obverse of the 1894 Indian head cent features the iconic portrait commonly called the Indian head, although it actually represents Liberty wearing a Native American feather headdress. The word Liberty appears on the headband, though on many circulated examples this detail may be faint or missing due to years of wear. Around the outer edge of the obverse runs the inscription, United States of America, emphasizing the authority and identity of the issuing nation. The date 1894 appears clearly at the bottom beneath the portrait. The reverse design shows a wreath encircling the denomination 1 cent, with a small shield placed at the top center above the wreath, symbolizing national strength and unity. The wreath used on this coin is a later laurel wreath style introduced earlier in the series to replace the original oak wreath design, giving the coin a more refined and balanced appearance. The 1894 1-cent coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which during this period did not include mint marks on its coins. Therefore, genuine examples of the 1894 Indian head cent do not carry any mint mark. The total mintage for this year was approximately 16,749,500 coins, a relatively high number compared to some earlier dates in the series. Because of this large mintage, the 1894 Indian head cent is considered a more common date, especially in circulated condition. However, despite the high production numbers, coins in high uncirculated grades remain desirable and can be significantly more valuable due to the difficulty of preserving copper coins in pristine condition over long periods of time. The coin's composition follows the bronze formula introduced in 1864, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures about 19 millimeters in diameter with a plain edge. When newly minted, the coin displayed a bright reddish color. But over decades of handling and exposure to the environment, most examples have developed a brown or red-brown tone. Collectors generally classify Indian head cents into three color categories: red, red-brown, and brown. Full red coins are the rarest and most valuable because copper naturally oxidizes and darkens with age, making it difficult for coins to retain their original mint color. Historically, the year 1894 fell within a period of economic recovery following the Panic of 1893, one of the most severe economic depressions in United States history. Despite financial struggles affecting many Americans, coin production remained essential to support daily commerce. Small denomination coins like the 1-cent piece were particularly important because they facilitated low-value transactions in both urban and rural settings. The widespread use of the cent meant that most coins were heavily circulated, often passing through thousands of hands before eventually being lost, damaged, or withdrawn from circulation. As a result, surviving examples frequently show varying degrees of wear, from light circulation marks to nearly smooth surfaces on well-used coins. From a numismatic perspective, the 1894 Indian head cent is popular among collectors building complete date sets of the series. Because it is a relatively common date, it provides an accessible entry point for beginners who wish to own a genuine 19th century American coin without spending large amounts of money. Low-grade circulated examples are generally affordable, while higher-grade uncirculated coins with strong luster and sharp details can command significantly higher prices. Professional grading services use the Sheldon grading scale from 1 to 70 to evaluate condition, with factors such as surface preservation, strike quality, luster, and overall eye appeal playing important roles in determining value. Although the 1894 Indian head cent is not widely known for major rare varieties, minor die differences and strike characteristics can still be found. Collectors often examine coins carefully for features such as die cracks, repunched dates, or subtle doubling in the design. These minor variations may not always add substantial monetary value, but they increase the coin's interest among specialized collectors who study minting processes and die states. Counterfeit coins do exist, particularly because the Indian head cent series is popular worldwide. So collectors are advised to compare weight, size, and design details carefully or purchase coins that have been certified by reputable third-party grading companies. Market value for the 1894 Indian head cent varies greatly depending on its condition and color designation. Heavily worn examples may be worth only a small premium above their historical collectible value, while coins extremely fine or about uncirculated condition can command moderate prices. Mint state coins, especially those graded MS-65 or higher with full red surfaces, may reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on eye appeal and demand at auction. The market for Indian head cents remains strong because the series is historically significant and widely collected, providing consistent interest from both beginners and experienced numismatists. Proper care and storage are essential for maintaining the value and appearance of copper coins like the 1894 Indian head cent. Copper is sensitive to moisture, oils, and environmental pollutants, which can cause discoloration or corrosion over time. Collectors typically store coins in acid-free holders, coin flips, or protective capsules to minimize exposure to harmful conditions. Handling should be done carefully by the edges using clean hands or gloves to avoid leaving fingerprints that may become permanent stains. Cleaning coins is strongly discouraged because even gentle cleaning can remove the natural patina and original mint luster, significantly reducing collectible value. The artistic design of the Indian head cent has been praised for its distinctive appearance and symbolic meaning. James Barton Longacre created a design that blended classical artistic elements with uniquely American imagery, resulting in a coin that remained in production for 50 years. Although modern perspectives have raised questions about the cultural representation of Native American imagery on coins, the design remains an important artifact of 19th century artistic and national identity. The combination of Liberty's profile, the feathered. Thank you for watching U.S. Coin History World. If you love coin history, rare coins, and valuable coin discoveries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories from the United States and around the world.